Hey, what's up guys, welcome to another FIFA 16 player review with me, your boy FIFA Wonder HD. This episode we're going to be looking at the 88 rated centre attacking mid, that is David Silva. But before we get into the video, as always, it would mean an awful lot to me if you would hit the like button and the subscribe button, if you haven't already of course, because it does help the channel and really does encourage me to keep making these videos for you. Now, David Silva and his 88 rated card, what were my thoughts? Well, obviously I was incredibly impressed. The guy is an absolute god on the ball. His dribbling, second to none. Really very good. And that is obviously because of his 91 ball control, 89 dribbling, but more than that, having balance at 88 and agility at 93 just mean that he's so agile. He can turn very quickly, hard to knock off the ball because he's got that low centre of gravity. And then he's got the great ball control, he can take it into him. He's got sharp feet, he's obviously got the traits of a playmaker, flair, and the specialities of a technical dribbler. So all of that combines just to have a very good player. Very much like the real life David Silva, where he keeps the ball, it's stuck to his foot like glue. And he can work his way out of tight spaces very easily. So even if there are 2 or 3 players around, a lot of people are using 2 CDMs or at least 1 CDM. But I've seen a lot of 3-5-2s, etc., where there are 2 CDMs. So it's quite compact in that sort of cam area where you're going to find David Silva popping up a lot, as well as obviously the centre backs who are going to make interceptions as time goes on. But for me, with his dribbling, even with all of that, it didn't matter. He was able to drift in, control the ball, work his way out. He's got 4-star skills as well, so you can skill out a little bit as well. But he's just technical dribbling is absolutely brilliant. Very hard to get the ball off him when it's at his feet. He's got a nice burst of pace initially, so he can obviously use that with his dribbling to just move into space, get out of trouble and create space for a shot or a pass. But when you're trying to play him through on goal, after that initial maybe 10 yards of pace burns out, there isn't an awful lot there, which is a bit of a shame. 68 sprint speed isn't brilliant, and it's one of the cons on the card for me. But by and large, you're not going to be playing him with the through balls that often, because he's the guy you're going to want on the front of the ball, playing those killer passes in anyway. So it didn't really annoy me too much. Only a couple of times, I played him through when he was the furthest up the field, and he didn't really have the legs to get on the pass. You're going to come up against a lot of quicker centre backs, or full backs as well for that matter. So in that regard, his pace is a little bit of an issue in that sense. But for the 99% of your play, you're not going to have too much trouble, because his 79 acceleration is more than going to do the job for you. Coming on to his shooting, wow, absolutely incredible. I thought it was going to be pretty mixed, pretty average. I looked in-game, 72 finishing isn't bad, it's not brilliant. 79 long shots, 81 shot power is a little bit more, enticed with those sort of stats. But it felt a lot higher in all areas. Everything he hit pretty much hit the target. He always made the keeper saved, and he scored a lot of really good goals for me. Some blasters from outside the box into the top corner, others, cheeky little dinks and nice finishes, nice finesse shots. He can do an awful lot with his finishing. Very good player, very clinical. Scored me a lot of goals, and obviously he's going to create a lot of goals too, which brings me on to his passing, which was brilliant. He's got the crossing, he's got the curve, but he's also got the short and long range passing with the vision to just play killer pass after killer pass. With FIFA 16, passing is a little bit more intricate, and it has to be very much more precise. So having someone like David Silva in your team is just going to mean that when you get the ball into important areas, he's going to do the right thing with it every time. And that's exactly what you want. You don't want to be wasting opportunities where you overhit the ball or just give it away. This guy is going to find your strikers or find your wingers, whoever it is running through, with an absolute pinpoint accurate pass. It's going to enable you to get a shot off and probably score. He was brilliant for me. Always took the ball in well, was able to drift in, dribble out of trouble, and just play pass after pass after pass. The ball always was kept with him. You know, we kept possession. We moved up the pitch with David Silva. Very impressed with him for his passing and his dribbling. Obviously, defence and physicality is never going to be brilliant. He ain't going to be winning headers. He's not that strong, and he's not going to put in an awful lot of tackles. The odd one or two, you know, don't get me wrong, he's going to be able to nick the ball here and there, but by and large, those sort of areas you're not going to be that bothered about anyway. So overall, I just thought he was brilliant. You know, lots and lots of good pros. Obviously, ball control, dribbling, vision, passing, positioning. Also, his finishing was very, very good. Cons, I could only draw on his sprint speed. After that initial acceleration does die down, his sprint speed isn't brilliant. You know, could be a little bit better. And his strength, obviously, isn't incredible. That's me just being nitpicky. Overall, I've given him 9 out of 10. Would definitely recommend him. He's currently going for around sort of 50-60k. I would imagine after the price, you know, sort of the market settles down, he will fall to around sort of 40k. And I would say definitely go out and buy him. Even at 60k, he's well worth the money. Definitely a great player to have in your BPL or Spanish hybrid squads. Really recommend David Silva. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Leave a like as well and hit subscribe button if you haven't already. And peace.